Am I the asshole for replacing pictures of my cousins with pictures of my dog? My grandpa's birthday was a couple weeks ago. 6 weeks before his birthday, I texted all of my siblings and cousins, there's 9 of us, and told them to send me a picture of themselves within the next 4 weeks so I could put it on a phone case for our grandpa's birthday. 2 weeks later, I sent the text again, saying I needed a picture of them, and anybody that chooses not to send a picture will be replaced by a picture of my dog. I had 3 cousins tell me to screenshot something from their Instagrams. I didn't respond. I sent a text out the day before I put in the order, saying anybody that did not send a picture of themselves in the next 24 hours would be replaced by pictures of my dog. The same 3 cousins never sent pictures. Their spots have my dog in a sombrero, my dog at the pumpkin patch, and my dog in a chicken costume. They came over for my grandpa's birthday and saw him open his new phone case. They saw that their pictures weren't on the case and got mad at me for not picking something off their Instagrams like they told me to. I said that I sent 3 reminders to send me a picture with a clear warning that anybody that did not send a picture would be replaced with a picture of the dog. They knew exactly what would happen. My grandpa finds it hilarious, but their parents are telling my parents that I kept them off the phone case on purpose, and they want me to apologize. Am I the asshole for replacing them with pictures of my dog because they never sent me a picture? Grandpa liked it. That's all that matters. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, and Grandpa finding it hilarious is a win. Also, who paid for it? Did you pay for it yourself, or did others chip in? Not the asshole. You gave them plenty of warning and told them exactly what would happen if they didn't send. Yeah, you could have screenshot something on their socials, but they didn't want to make any effort, so they didn't need to be on the gift. This story has many elements I enjoy. An earnest narrator, lazy cousins, a picture of a dog in some kind of headgear, and a laughing grandparent. Your lazy cousins and the hand-wringing relatives can kick rocks. Not the asshole. Not the asshole and hilarious. Even Grandpa thinks so. Not the asshole. You reminded them and made yourself clear, and the dog pictures surely elevate the phone case. Would I be the asshole if I refused to pick my daughter up from school? I, 34 female, have 3 kids, 17 female, 4 female, and 5 male-old baby boy. This school year I have a senior in high school and a preschooler. Originally, I assumed that I would drop the preschooler off, then the senior and pickup was going to go the same way. But the senior's schedule threw a wrench in my plan. Because of all the credits she earned, she only needs to take 3 classes. Which is great news, but that means she's only in school for less than 3 hours. I would have to drop her off after school already started, and pick her up 2 hours later. My issue is that she doesn't have her license, so I have to do the driving. I feel my life is literally just picking up and dropping off. I have to leave my house 4 times a day. I feel like anytime I start something, I have to stop because I need to do a drop-off or pick up. The bus isn't an option because I would still have to drive to and from a bus stop. I proposed that instead of picking the senior up after 2 hours, I would pick her up after 3. Then I could pick her and the preschooler up at the same time. I could have a longer block of time to get things done and have the 5-month-old actually get a decent nap that doesn't involve a car seat. Would I be the asshole if I pick her up later? If the senior can do her homework in the library for that hour, it's a great solution. If she doesn't have homework, she can study for upcoming exams, use the library's internet, or just read. It's only an hour, and she's in a very safe place. You are the asshole if you make her wait, even though her grandparents have offered to do the pickups and drop-offs for you. My parents would have said I can pick you up after 3. If you want to come home earlier, that's on you. You are the asshole because her grandparents offered to both drop her off and pick her up, and you are still coming online bitching about it. The problem could be solved, but according to you this would be them spoiling her rotten. When you were her age you already had a kid, so, because of your choices, you had to grow up early. You say you feel like all you do is drive, but you already have a solution that would even decrease your driving time and don't want to accept it. Info: would the school even allow the senior to loiter the hour? What is her reason for not getting her license? My senior also only has 3 classes he drives and has a car, so not an issue, but I know he has been told he can't come into the school early. He doesn't have first block. Do you know she is allowed to stay at the school late? If she can stay and work in the library for an hour, I would say that's fine, but if she can't stay at the school then yubda. I'm sure the spread in ages of your kids is hard to manage, but maybe that should have been anticipated, and someone should have worked with her, so she has her license. Am I the asshole for telling roommate that she can no longer use my microwave? I, 18 female, have a roommate, also 18 female, who, to put it nicely, is lacking in what I would consider to be common sense. There are several things I had to explain to her when we moved in, like how to do laundry, how to use her detergent, how much, which buttons to press on the machine, how to use the space-saving hangers she got. She didn't know how to iron her clothes, and I had to do it for her. She constantly complains about not knowing how to do things because her mom did it for her. And no, she's not an only child. When we first moved in, neither of us had a microwave. I ended up getting mine at a giveaway on campus. I couldn't really afford to get one. When she first asked to use my microwave, I was kind of hesitant, but said yes at the time because I didn't have a solid reason to say no. Now, whenever anyone borrows or uses my stuff, I want them to ask each time so I can keep track of who has used it and when. I guess she assumed that when I said yes that first time it meant yes for whenever. It did not. She's used it several times without asking, and always in the middle of the night, around 2-3 a.m., when I'm sleeping. I have 8 a.m. classes all week, so I usually try to sleep before 11. Every time she uses it, the sound, smell, and noise wake me up, and I have a hard time going back to sleep. But what really made me put my foot down was about a week ago. She comes in around 2 a.m. in the middle of the week and uses my microwave, waking me up. I try to go back to sleep, but I start to smell something god-awful. Imagine burning gasoline. Not only was the smell horrible, but it was hard to breathe too. I turned my fan on to no avail. The whole room smelled like that for 2-3 hours. Even under my blankets, I was struggling to breathe and fall asleep. Yet the whole time roommate was unfazed. Just when I thought the ordeal was behind me, I went to use my microwave the next day, and lo and behold, the smell came back, except it was in my food that I ended up having to throw away. Turned out roommate had microwaved her food in its styrofoam container. If you don't know, heating styrofoam is very dangerous. Not only is it highly flammable, it releases several toxic gases when heated, including methane, which is probably what I ended up smelling. Because my microwave is small, and the container she heated it in went wall to wall, some of the styrofoam is probably still in the vents. Even though the smell had gone when I went to heat my food again, the gases came back and got in my food. Before I realized where the smell was coming from, I ended up eating my food and getting very sick as a result. This also prevents me from using my microwave until I can get it cleaned. I told roommate she can no longer use my stuff, and when I explained, she again said she didn't know she couldn't microwave styrofoam and that she's done it before. She didn't really apologize for poisoning the both of us. And now I don't really want her to use any of my other stuff either. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole, and she owes you a new microwave. I wouldn't play around with melted styrofoam in my food. She poisoned you. If anything, you are underreacting. You were breathing in fumes of heated styrofoam in the middle of the night. Can you seek medical attention to make sure there will be no long-term consequences? If you are in dorms, get a supervisor involved. She created dangerous fumes and didn't see any problem with it. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You aren't her mother. Stop helping her with everything. Look up weaponized incompetence. She's definitely ticking a few boxes. Don't iron her clothes or teach her anything. The internet is super accessible, and she can research anything she needs to very easily. I disagree wholeheartedly with the comment that says if it's free is communal. You are still the person who won it, so it's yours. Tell roommate now that she's no longer allowed to use the microwave or anything else of yours because she's incapable of taking care of it. It might be better to look for a room transfer so you don't have to keep babysitting her. Not the asshole. She's endangering the both of you. This is a health and safety issue, full stop. Esh. She's dumb as bricks, but also college roommates generally share appliances even if one person or the other owns it. I'd find it incredibly weird if I had to ask permission every time to use a microwave of all things. No assholes here. Your boundaries are fair, and you should uphold them, but I don't think she's an asshole for being a bit clueless. You wanted her to ask for permission for each use, fair enough, but didn't seem to bring this up when she was using your microwave at 2 a.m. on other occasions. I don't really think that miscommunication is her fault. I would also assume I didn't need to ask every time for an appliance my roommate said I could use. The styrofoam thing sucks, and she should be the one to clean it out, but I again don't think it was an asshole move. Just a stupid one. I think you could be a bit clearer about your expectations, and I think she should Google things more often. Am I the asshole? Teacher got into family discussion and reprimanded my child before I could say a word. My mother-in-law and I were at my daughter's band concert tonight. Afterwards, we went to pick my daughter up. My daughter had accidentally left her cell phone in her bibber pocket. Not allowed. We signed her out with the band teacher and went to get my daughter. On our way out, the band teacher came over to us and told us about a car accident on the road we used to get home, so we could use a different route. She brought up the cell phone and smiled and said that my daughter was lucky that she was nice, or she could have faced probation and turned to walk away. My MIL started to get onto my child for having the phone when she back-talked my MIL. The band teacher heard this and turned back around and came right back and went to grab my child's arm, but she pulled away and the teacher said, "Jane, come with me now." And she ushered her about 20 feet away from us. I couldn't hear everything that was being said, but I could hear the tone, and I could see that she was in my child's face. I walked over there in time to hear her telling my child that she was going to do laps and push-ups for talking back to get grandmother. As soon as I walked up, she shooed me away with her hand and said, "You can go away now, this is between me and her." My child was upset and crying. I pulled my child away and told the teacher that this was between me and my child and had nothing to do with her, that she had not right getting in the middle of it. Once we sign my child out, it is no longer her business, unless she is speaking to her. I escorted my child away from her. My MIL absolutely tore my head off the entire way home, saying that she had every right to speak however she wanted to my child, that she has the right to do this. That my child should never have pulled away from her, that teachers have every right to grab their students by the arm to escort them somewhere to talk to them. Well, my other issue with this is that she took her away from me. Her mother, she should have said her piece in front of me, and she took her right into the middle of the entire group of band students and parents that were there and volunteers, and anybody else that happened to be there before she began to raise her voice and belittle my daughter. Not to mention, this all started because during the performance my daughter's knees buckled and she fell. So this band teacher was upset with my child for her mistake. Now, I am not one of those parents that think my child is never wrong, because yes, my child was wrong to forget to put the cell phone where it was supposed to be, and yes, she was wrong for snapping at my MIL. However, that is a family issue, not a school issue. She had already been signed out, we were already away from all the other people. She had no right to drag her back into the middle of everyone just to chastise her and embarrass her in front of everyone. My child was already in pain from her fall. If she had wanted to say something about the phone, she had plenty of time before we signed her out. Not the asshole. Both the teacher and MIL sound insufferable. Not the asshole, I don't know where you live, but your child's teacher is on a power trip, and I would escalate this issue to the principal. It's inappropriate to physically grab a student and take them from their parent like that. It's inappropriate to punish a student for a private family matter when you were right there to deal with it. Your child is your responsibility before anyone else's. The teacher is taking their anger out on your child, and you did the right thing by standing up for them in front of them. But how normal is laps used as a punishment? Was your child's fall due to a similar punishment? Is this type of behavior from the teacher accepted and sanctioned by the school? Not the asshole. As a parent, I would make it my life mission to destroy that teacher's career permanently. What she did, especially putting hands on your daughter, totally unacceptable. The fact she is threatening additional punishment at school tells me this person should not be around children. Wait a minute. Your MIL was backing a teacher physically assaulting your child in front of you, and law enforcement was not involved immediately. Sorry, being mandatory reporters does not make them immune to child abuse charges. Not the asshole. Firstly, as you say, once you've signed her out, any discipline is your responsibility. Secondly, as this is a family matter, any discipline should really be your responsibility. Not the asshole, and you should go to the administration and admonish the teacher and demand that she be told not to ever interject into family matters, and that your daughter should not be punished in any way because it was the teacher who was out of line for getting between you and your daughter. If thy bulk, rally parents and go to the school board to protest.